camera over there is working for you?
It was a blue screen. No. It is working. Let me see if it's
This camera's working.
That camera's working just fine.
If I switch to this one.
That is on the side of your head.
Yeah.
And back on me.
Okay.
Alright. Oh shit. Let me do one more thing. I can't forget.
So that other camera isn't working for you?
Yeah, it's just a blue screen right
Okay.
now. I mean, the input's fine, but it's just showing.
Yeah, no, it happens to me too with that one. If I don't plug it into the right USB, I'm fucked. That's fine. You'll be on camera. We'll just talk.
Come on. Let me turn off the performance band. Alright, let's begin.
Look at you! You was popping all that good shit a second ago, then you got kicked in your chest!
I forgot something. I'm sorry, Tina. Here we go.
Ah, crap.
Look at you! You was popping all that good shit a second ago, then you got kicked in your chest!
Fashionably late, as usual. It is 7:03 out here on the East Coast, Sunday, June 23rd, 2013, and this is episode 34 of the Rusty Razor Podcast, right here on DIU TV. My name is Designated Dave, as this tells you right here. Actually down
There it is.
there. And don't call in yet, if at all. I'm just going to warn you right now. Well, right now it's just me and Dom.
Yeah.
Which means I gotta go, I'm still gonna go through and figure out which stories I'm gonna use because my hour and a half has been cut down to 53 minutes.
Ah, crap.
If you're watching this live, you're watching this on DIUTV.com. And our sister,
Hey, I don't know if you need these.
our sister show
Sure.
is actually coming up right after this,
Yeah.
which is why I have to cut my show short. It is Election Dom Live
I think I took that from you.
Tank, we're live.
Huh?
We're live.
Oh, hello. Talk to me an asshole that you're trying to get business done.
I know.
No worries.
It's all good.
Like I said, I've already lost 30-something minutes. We'll give this a couple more.
Oh, you already lost that much?
Yeah, because I don't want to run over 8 o'clock. I allotted myself 90 minutes.
Yeah. So
It's all good.
It is
7 o'clock.
7 o'clock. Well, good luck to you, sir.
Rich and the Angry Pirate, Facebook.com/Rich and the Angry Pirate. Go to DIUTV.com. Is it over on the left or is it still at the bottom?
For what?
FDIU TV, it's still at the bottom.
Still at the bottom. For a couple more days.
Yeah, go down to the bottom, click on Ask DIU TV, and you can ask any question for any person on any show, and they will answer it. And I usually would answer it twice, but I'm here in studio, so no need for that. All right, where are we at? Actually, close that down. CTPlayhouse.co has a show called It's Your Underground with Chuck Nichols.
Have you heard that show yet?
I heard a replay of one. It's really reminiscent of what was the Wednesday show? Big
Underground?
Yeah, the CT Underground. It was like, oh, it's pretty much identical. Everyone's running over everyone, but it's a good show. ActionFigureTherapy.com, BlackRoseMinerals.com, AnyEntertainment.com, which hosts BankingBad.com, LTLRocks.com, Facebook.com/GetInTheRed, and if you go to DIUTV.com, look over on the left, and donate to our bald and beautiful and rather absent.
Very absent. Absent-minded, too. I hope he's watching.
Although I will give AJ credit, Lurch is normally listed as our random news retriever. This week, AJ got me the news.
Well, there you go.
So
he's still here in spirit.
yeah. All right. So first news story was brought to us by AJ. Morris the cat running for mayor of Mexican City.
AJ's my best friend.
There's another fat cat running for political office, but this one is actually covered in fur, has claws, and purrs when he gets his way. Morris the cat declared his candidacy for the mayor of Xalapa.
Xalapa.
A university city with a population of 450,000 in eastern Mexico. Xalapa, the capital of the state of Veracruz, has suffered through high crime rates and corruption in recent years, which helps explain the 10-month-old kitten's campaign slogan, quote, "Tired of voting for rats, vote for a cat."
That's a good slogan.
Quote, "He sleeps almost all day long, does nothing, and that fits the profile of a politician," said Morris's human owner, Sergio Chamorro, in an interview with the Associated Press. Morris is also not the only cat to seek elected office. For example, I believe me and Primo covered this. Stubbs the cat has famously been the mayor of a small Alaskan town for more than 15 years. And in 2012, a cat named Tuxedo Stan ran for mayor of Halifax in Nova Scotia, Canada, although he didn't win. Chamorro says Morris is running for office to protest corruption in Mexico's political system. He promises to donate any funds raised through the campaign to local animal shelters. Police have been responsive, giving Morris's Facebook page more than 120,000 likes since it was launched. He's even getting some love from Stubbs, who has been posting news about the campaign to his own popular Facebook page. This is the funny news of the week. It was really very far, and few and far between. As the AP points out, the leading human candidate in the races has a comparably meager 33,000 likes on his Facebook page. Quote, "Morris has been a catalyst to show the discontent that exists in our society. Our message from the beginning has been, if none of the candidates represent you, vote for the cat." And it seems people are responding to that. Let's see. In response, election officials are asking voters to resist the temptation to cast their votes for non-eligible animal candidacies. Quote, "We are asking for people to participate by voting those citizens registered on the ballots," said Electoral Institute President Carolina Viveros in an interview with the local media. Quote, "Everything else is part of expressions happening in social media, and I respect that, but you have to vote for the registered candidates," end quote. Well, I don't know. Dom, if you were of the voting variety and none of the candidates suited your fancy, would you vote for a cat?
Yes. Because I've actually written myself in quite a few times,
All right.
but never got mentioned.
Our next story from AJ. Goat accused of robbery.
Goat accused of robbery.
Police in Nigeria are holding a goat on suspicion of attempted armed robbery. Robbery. My Chinese food sticking with me. Vigilante seized a black and white goat, saying he was an armed robber who had used black magic to transform himself into an animal to escape after trying to steal a Mazda 323.
A Mazda 323.
A spokesman for the police in the eastern state of Kwara said, quote, "The goat is in our custody. Vigilantes saw some hoodlums attempting to rob a car. One escaped while the other had turned into a goat." Yeah.
Okay.
Local story. Westbrook man arrested for soliciting breath sample.
Soliciting what?
A breath sample.
A breath sample. Okay.
A Westbrook man was arrested Monday evening after attempting to get people to provide him with an alcohol-free breath sample to bypass his vehicle ignition interlock device.
I know people who've tried to do that.
Clinton police said 67-year-old Kenneth Palifka and a friend were asking several people to provide a breath sample to start his vehicle at the Clinton Town Marina. Witnesses told police Palifka and his friend were attempting to remove a boat and trailer from the town boat ramp, quote, by hand, after they were unable to start Palifka's car because they had both been drinking earlier in the day. Palifka's vehicle is equipped with a court-ordered ignition interlock device, and he has been charged with multiple DUIs in the past. Palifka was arrested and charged with avoidance of an ignition interlock device. He was released on a $500 bond and is due in Middlesex Superior Court July 1st. Sheep sheep-eating plant blooms in the United Kingdom.
A sheep-eating plant blooms. What's the hell is a sheep-eating plant?
A towering South American plant that is believed to kill animals with its spikes and use their decaying bodies as fertilizer is about to bloom in England. A rare Puya chilensis was planted at a greenhouse in Surrey about 15 years ago. Wow. However, despite its intimidating description, the tall spiked plant is considered a threatened species. The Royal Horticultural Society at Wisley has been feeding the plant a diet of liquid fertilizer. In its natural habitat in the Andes, it uses its razor-sharp spines to snare and trap sheep and other animals, which slowly starve to death and decay at the base of the plant, providing it with the grisly equivalent of a bag of fertilizer. Read the description on the RHS website, which adds that the plant emits a, quote, gruesome scent.
Well, decaying body, I would think it would.
Right? But does the plant actually trap and eat sheep? Other sources have simply said it is believed that the plant traps small animals with its spikes. After the animals die of starvation, the plant is, quote, believed to then use their decaying bodies as fertilizer to feed itself. I'm really pleased that we finally coaxed our Puya chilensis into flower, horticulturalist Kara Smith said in a press release on the website. Regardless of whether it actually traps the sheep, the plant does have sharp spikes that can grow up to 12 feet high and 5 feet wide. However, it's not all death and danger for this plant. Its flowery blooms reportedly provide nectar for bees and birds. The Puya chilensis blooms annually in its native land of Chile, but this is the first time it's been done so after more than a decade of cultivation efforts from the RHS. Quote, we keep it well fed with liquid fertilizer, as feeding on its natural diet might prove a bit problematic, Smith said. Quote, it's growing in the arid section of our glass house with its deadly spines well out of reach of both children and sheep alike.
So what are they saying? This thing's going to attack children?
Well, they're saying that they're taking measures to make it not attack the children.
I think we should try to find one and have Lurch go near it.
Dress him up like a sheep.
There you go. He'll like that.
Well, that's our news. The next section was actually going to be the random trivia put together, but it's only Dom here. I don't know, maybe if we can fit it into Lurch and Dom live broadcast if there's a dead time.
Well, we're not doing the Warhead Challenge, so I forgot to buy them. And I haven't told Lurch about it yet, so I'm sure we'll have fine time.
All right, so we're going to jump into our first music break. Dug into my collection and found a couple that I want to play. I forgot what order I had them in, but whatever. No worries. Team Schizo with Pilot, and Curtin hits the cast with Haunting Me. And this is the Rusty Razor Podcast on DIU TV.
Yeah.
Schizophrenic motherfucking record. What's going on, all you beautiful ladies, man? What's good? Got no luggage. Just grab what you got with you right now. She'll be back in the morning. Got a man, I don't care, girl, you don't gotta end it. I'm looking for my flight attendant. I don't go nowhere cause the tax is in it. Go down in the cockpit, the land not ready. Nobody can see us, yeah, it's tinted. And you better not stop, girl, until I'm finished. You'll find out quick that you're dealing with a menace. You wanna go on this jet, I'm gonna finish. You wanna go on this jet, I'm gonna finish. Smile, I'm feeling my swag and loving my words. I wanna tell you everything, I love my church.
I'm gonna take you to places that you've never been before. Explore the world, take a first class trip. I'm gonna take you to places that you'll be a pilot tonight. I'll be a pilot tonight.
I was never a club kid, ma, get it right. I always start a fight and proceed to take flight. With someone's chick and they want some love. And if you wanna keep your girl, then why she clubbing? Girl, you don't need luggage, you gon' love it. Unlike your husband, you feel it in your stomach. Pick a destination, anywhere you want. No in-flight movie, just a bag of nuts. Get it? A bag of nuts. Logic locks it. Down from bathroom to cockpit, honest. Japan to Brazil, I'll break you apart. Lay you down and eat my way to your heart. Paris to Venice, across the Atlantic. I'll make your body have orgasmic panic. You can't stand it, it's a freaking weekend. Quiet when the captain is speaking.
I'm gonna give you loving that you need and more. I'm gonna take you to places that that you've never been before. Explore the world, take a first class trip, live it up and follow me. I'll be a pilot tonight. I'll be a pilot tonight.
Attention, ladies. This is your pilot speaking. Just a quick update. I really like what I'm seeing, so I suggest that you keep your ass tightly seated. 'Cause for real,
You got me in the mood to straight smash. Take that, baby girl. Let me see you bend back. Got you waking up the next morning like you jet lagged, and you fully equipped for that moment of crisis. See, your chest came with built-in floating devices. Not to mention that all of your emotions are priceless. Let's hit that frequent flyer up with loads of mileage. So let's take a flight on God awful airline. Let me rub you down while you reveal your handline. Girls, don't make me abandon ship. Come up to touchdown. Let me see that landing strip. I'ma handle this. No need to pack your stuff. Tell your man that you gon' be back in a month.
I'll give you loving that you need and more. I'm gonna take you to places that you've never been before. Explore the world, take a first class trip, live it up and follow me. I'll be a pilot tonight. I'll be a pilot tonight.
Alright, baby girl, that is the end of our flight. Thank you for flying schizophrenic air. Oh, don't forget to gather up your shit and wipe that wet spot off you left right there. Yep, that's the one I'm talking about. Grab your sister's hands and bounce. See you next weekend.
I'm gonna give you loving that you need and more. I'm gonna take you to places that you've never been before. Explore the world, take a first class trip, live it up and follow me. I'll be a pilot tonight. I'll be a pilot tonight. Give you loving that you need and more. I'm gonna take you to places that you've never been before. Explore the world, take a first class trip, live it up and follow me. I'll be a pilot tonight. I'll be a pilot tonight.
With stains on my
There you go.
And we're back. 7:22. Lurch decided to join us.
Hi.
Lurch. Lurch is back.
Yeah.
Fuck blue, big.
Right now, Lurch is a blue screen.
No, not the blue screen of death.
He's just the blue.
Oh, Lurch is here, so your laptop might get herpes, so be careful.
Yeah, I know. I'm sitting there like, man, if this shit breaks down when I get home, I'm gonna be pissed. All right, mixed martial arts news. We're actually going to do the trivia all at once right after we get out of mixed martial arts here. Normally I'd go through the results of UFC 161. I'm not going to. It was a really lackluster card. Coming off of a card 3 weeks ago that had 8 submissions, 2 knockouts, and 2 decisions. This one had 9 decisions, 1 knockout, 1 submission. It really sucked. And it's a funny fact that the cards I generally fall asleep during usually end up sucking. And this one I fell asleep. That's that. Karina Dam will probably never see the UFC because she has been popped for the second time. Public disclosure started, as it so does often now, with a tweet. Fighter Jessica I says, quote, "So as you all know, I'm a big advocate against PEDs and proudly say I'll never do them. Unfortunately for my last opponent, she was not. I had fought Karina Dam at the North American Allied Fighting Series in Ohio on June 20th, losing it in a unanimous decision. Dam, the sister of UFC fighter Rodrigo Dam, became the first female mixed martial arts to test positive for performance-enhancing drugs following an 11-second knockout victory over LaShonda Knox on April 3rd, 2008. She was found by the CSAC to have a nandrolone count of 37.9 nanograms per millimeter, nearly 20 times the allowed limit. She was fined $2,500 and suspended for fighting for 1 year. Now, 5 years later, it appears to have happened again. Ohio State Athletic Commissioner, or Executive Director, Bernie Profado, revealed what was much more shocking than a simple failed drug test. It turns out while Karina Dam's urine test was negative for banned substances, it also tested negative for being urine. Dam apparently handed a sample cup of non-urine substance to the female attendant in the room with her while she was supposed to provide her sample. The sample was then handed to the doctor assigned to the card, who then handed that and 5 other samples taken that night to Executive Director Profado, who then sent them off to the lab for testing. Concerns were initially voiced in the chain of evidence when the trauma doctor on the site noted that the urine in Dam's sample was, quote, a little clear and felt cool instead of warm. These suspicions were later confirmed when the laboratory responsible for the OSAC's drug testing contacted them with a request to perform additional testing on the Brazilian flyweight sample due to certain inconsistencies. The follow-up testing confirmed these suspicions, and Karina Dam will be suspended and fined under Ohio State Athletic Commission Code, yada, yada, yada. The OSAC is giving Karina Dam the opportunity to appeal, and a hearing is tentatively scheduled for August 13th. If Dam goes ahead, the commission will then have the discretion to either maintain the minimum 1-year suspension set forth by the executive commissioner, reduce it, or even waive it, or increase the penalty to its maximum level. Quote, "It's a bigger crime to hide the crime than to commit the crime," Profado said about the situation, noting that Dam may be worse off for attempts to cover up for a potential positive test than she would have for simply failing one. Knowing how Dana White is absolutely furious about PEDs right now, and knowing that he's trying to put together a really good women's division, I'm pretty sure we're not going to see Karina Dam in the UFC anytime soon. Jeff Curran withdrew from his RF 8 title fight, not because of an injury to himself, but because of one to his dog. Yes, he's fine, he made weight, his dog gets injured, and he pulls out of a title fight. In response to critics who are saying that you shouldn't have done that, he says the line says card subject to change, and if you don't like it, fuck off. That is a quote from him. Anthony Pettis, who is supposed to be fighting Jose Aldo in a few weeks, is out for 6 weeks with a knee injury. When Anthony Pettis originally had to remove himself from the UFC 163 card, he had hoped he would only be out for 3 weeks. However, after visiting the UFC's approved doctor in Vegas, it looks like it may be a little while longer until Pettis can return to action. Any hope Anthony Pettis had of fighting Benson Henderson at UFC 164 was squashed on Wednesday. As soon as he announced his injury, he's saying, well, you know what, I'd rather, it'll be a better fight if I fight Ben Henderson than Ben Henderson's already scheduled opponent, TJ Grant. That's a bitch move. And that is all I'm going to say about that. Speaking of title fights, George St. Pierre will face Johnny Hendricks on November 17th in Las Vegas for the UFC welterweight title. According to a report by Ariel Hawani on the June 18th edition of UFC Tonight, the 170-pound title match will take place in Las Vegas on November 17th. At this time, a venue has not been announced. However, it will likely take place at the MGM Grand Garden Arena or the Mandalay Bay Event Center. Dana White has said for a while that he wants to bring Rush back to Sin City for his next fight, and now it's official. Coming off the last card that I did not make any, offerings of, Roy Nelson did set an all-time UFC record. President Dana White revealed that heavyweight Roy Nelson had broken a UFC record. He has absorbed the most strikes ever without being knocked out. 487.
So they actually keep count of that shit?
They actually keep stats on a lot of things.
Wow.
Like ground control time, significant strikes as opposed to regular strikes, submission attempts as opposed to submission, to get a submission locked, you only need one. Like cock push-ups. You only need to do one. And, well...
Wow, that's weird that they keep stats on shit like that.
Yeah.
Well, they do it for boxing, too.
Oh, yeah.
Punching and whatnot.
Well, and boxing's actually got one more stat that they keep track of instead of that mixed martial arts doesn't right now. Because they weigh in the day before the fight. They'll actually weigh in the day of the fight to see what weight gain there was. And a lot of guys... first name that comes to my mind is Brock Lesnar. Cut down to 265. Following day, he'd be near 300. Again. Upcoming MMA events. We're already at that time. July 6th, UFC 162. Silva versus Weidman for the UFC middleweight title. Also includes Mark Munoz versus Tim Bosch. Frankie Edgar versus Charles Oliveira. Dennis Seaver versus Primo's favorite fighter, Cub Swanson. Tim Kennedy, Roger Gracie, Dave Herman, Gabriel Gonzaga, Chris Lieben versus Andrew Craig, which is an interesting one. A big Chris Lieben fan. Dana White's a big Chris Lieben fan. Chris Lieben is on a 2-fight losing streak, and this is also his second fight back from a year-long PED suspension. Pretty sure if he loses, he'll probably get a pink slip. July 27th, UFC on Fox. Johnson versus Moraga for the UFC flyweight title. Rory McDonald, Jake Ellenberger, Robbie Lawler, and some dude I'm not even going to try and pronounce. Liz Carmouche, Jessica Andrade, Michael Chiesa, George Miles Vidal, Brendan Shaw versus Meathead, and actually announced last week, Mac Danzig versus Melvin Gillard. August 3rd, UFC 163, Aldo versus Korean Zombie for the UFC featherweight title. Lyoto Machida, Phil Davis, Damian Maia, Josh Koscheck, and Uncle Creepy versus Iliardi Santos. August 17th, UFC on Fox Sports 1, Shogun versus Sonnen. This card is stacked. I think I'm about to name off because when I do my outlines, I put down all the fights that I think are going to be really interesting. I think I put down every fight on the card except for one. Alistair Overeem, Travis Brown, Uriah Faber, Yuri Alcantara, Matt Brown, Thiago Alves, Joe Lozon, Michael Johnson, Uriah Hall, Nick Ring, Mike Brown versus Akira Corsani, and Diego Brandel versus Daniel Pineda. August 28th, UFC on Fox Sports 1, Condit versus Campman 2. Donald Cerrone versus Rafael dos Anjos, Kelvin Gastelum versus Paulo Thiago, and Sarah McMahon versus Sarah Kaufman. And August 31st, UFC 164, Ben Henderson, TJ Grant for the UFC lightweight title. Josh Barnett versus Frank Mir. I cannot wait for that fight. You've got two of the best submission artists in the heavyweight division ever. Ben Rothwell, Brandon Vera, Chad Mendes, Clay Guida. I've still got 30 minutes to kill. We're going to go to a music break. Tank's not back
Wait a
down
minute.
here yet.
How the hell do you got 2 guns? I got none, and Lurch got a stack of them over there.
I think Lurch set that up yesterday.
Could have.
He's like, I don't want anyone to have any.
Thank you.
I'll be nice.
I won't be. It's not like anybody can see it.
Yeah, here, let's go Lurch's cam.
My
Yep.
question with UFC fights.
Yeah.
When the fuck is Ronda Rousey fighting again?
More than likely December, late December.
Fuck, bitch.
She's coaching the Ultimate Fighter.
Really?
Yeah. Her and Misha Tate are coaching the Ultimate Fighter. Oh, I forgot about that. Thank you for reminding me inadvertently. I didn't write this down because, I knew I'd remember it, and I obviously forgot it. Kat Zingano, who was originally supposed to face off against Ronda Rousey and coach against her at the Ultimate Fighter, sent Ronda Rousey an interesting request, saying, "I hope you start attacking Miesha Tate's nose. It's pretty big." Yeah, I somehow I kind of thought that the women wouldn't go, "Rear, rear," but they are.
They're females. What the hell do you expect?
Tank, you gonna be joining us anytime soon? All right, so what we'll do, we'll go to music break, we'll come back, and I'll just go back and forth between Lurch and Dom.
Sounds good.
And don't worry, this will not be the last time I come over.
Fucking AJ, bitches be crazy.
I might want to join the chat.
You don't have to.
All right, that's who I am. Two Shot coming up. Kai Blackwood, Apologies Make Lousy Parachutes, and Doc Jones. Outside the Box. From
Nice.
Lurch and Dom Mixtape Volume 2. It is 7:33,
Holy shit.
and you are watching the Rusty Razor Podcast on DIU TV.
It's a hell of a thing, killing a man. You take away all he's got, and all he's ever gonna have.
Make lousy parachutes. You can take a pill and fix your problems. A band-aid for a slice of misery. The drug fucking nation, so high in our relation, so sorry for our deeds. You're not responsible for the demons in your head. Get on your knees, throw up those hands and scream. I'm sorry for my mind. I'm sorry for my mind. I'm so sorry for killing you. And apologies make lousy parachutes. Make lousy parachutes.
Oh, I guess they had it coming.
We all have it coming, kid.
You'll have to listen very carefully so you don't miss anything. Now,
I'm gaining knowledge on my scholars, spread wisdom with all my proverbs. I'm wondering why I bother when the blocks get hotter and hotter. Reverse pray to the Father, look to the stars and observe. Punch the clock like a boxer, don't believe in divide and conquer. Rhyming over silence and static as beats and spacious. I've been given pens and papers as a chance to begin to face this. Without complaining or the back alley banging. Letters can fly like tongues, but it's the mind that's penetrating. My back is breaking, but the times continue to change it. These bars are penny saving, I hold my words till I can make them amazing. I've been blessed, I've been given a test of the mind of the heart, cross the lines of stars. Keep on the beat, let you rip it right out of your chest. I'm giving up on being high strung. This is a fly, wanna let my time come, then I'm done. Gotta think outside the box and push it to the
voices that once was strangled. My leaves cover strangers and shade them instead of a stranger. I'm giving props to all the cities that I've been given a chance to play in. Giving the strings by fans to break the prison that I've been changing. Rip the bars about the walls and watch the whole building cave in. It's a blessing to be within the virus. Still sing the praises, rock the stage and screw the phrases. Strike the dying with the phrases like I'm David. Cause I've been giving them life. And I could go around and say whatever I like, whatever I write. This is advice, not a fight. A venom my adversary was not an enemy in sight. So I'll rock the box until it's giving me an answer my gripes. The fruits of my labors have finally become right. So I'll feed the world with them, it's my privilege and my right. Gotta think outside the box and push it into the box. The only key is knowing how to break the locks. Gotta think outside the box and push it into the box. This ain't just some words, this is positive hip-hop. Gotta think outside the box and push it into the box. The only key is knowing how to break the locks. Gotta think outside the box and kick it into the box. This ain't just some words, this is positive hip-hop. That's it.
Oops.
Yes.
It's all good. We're back.
Yeah, let me back here.
Sorry for all the disarray. Tank's fixing shit. Lurch is being gay. Well, that's not. I'm apologizing for him being gay, but
Yeah, you guys are just gonna have to bear with me a second.
that's all good. We got our guest for the Lurch Live broadcast. They're right outside.
Yeah, Dom.
Hopefully they're coming in.
That, they showed up on time.
That's the first guest too, besides people that we give rides to. Lurch is drinking beer with your mom while your dad watches.
I love this shirt.
Have you even watched it yet?
Yes.
Okay. So. Sure. I can't see it in there.
Alright. So, you'll notice the scoreboard's up. And what we're going to do, Sky, I got 20 questions.
It's my fault.
I got 20 questions I'm going to ask both Lurch and Dom, although I'm only going to ask you one at a time. If one person misses it, the other person gets a chance to steal the question. The game was a little bit more complex when I thought there were going to be 4 people, but fuck it.
It's all good.
Alright, so, you guys want to fucking... Here, you know what? We'll go like this.
Thanks.
How are we going to decide who goes first? The person who comes closest to the actual time I was born will go first.
6 a.m.
13:42.
6:13 a.m. Dom will go first. Dom, question number 1. What is the highest grossing movie of all time, box office numbers not adjusted for inflation?
Independence Day.
Incorrect.
Titanic.
Incorrect. Titanic is actually number 2. Avatar
Really?
is number 1. Okay, Lurch.
Yes.
What is the capital of Mexico?
Mexico City.
Correct. Dom, who did Tom Brady replace at quarterback for the Patriots?
Aye.
Lurch?
Drew Bledsoe.
Correct.
I don't watch football.
Lurch, I will tell you if you need to know it. What did the Konami code give you?
Herpes.
I don't know.
Okay, without giving it to you first, I'll give Dom a chance. If you don't know it, I'll actually tell you what the Konami code is. You might have a better chance.
No, I have no idea what it
Lurch,
is.
the Konami code is up, up, down, down, left, right, BA, start.
Okay.
Oh, Nintendo.
Yeah, but what does it give you?
Unlimited lives.
Incorrect.
Uh,
No, Dom? 30 lives in Contra.
you can't hear Dave?
Really? Oh, because my mic's over there.
Ah.
Aha.
Ah.
Okay.
There we go.
So, where we're at is we're on question number 5 now. But first question was, what was the highest grossing movie of all time? Box office numbers not adjusted for inflation. Both of them got it wrong. It was Avatar. Lurch answered correctly. What is the capital of Mexico? With Mexico City. Lurch also answered, who did Tom Brady replace at quarterback for the Patriots? Drew Bledsoe. They just missed the Konami question. So I believe this is Dom's question. How much did Lil Deek Deek weigh at birth?
Son of a bitch.
And it's on your dang Facebook all the time, too.
Yeah, we're working with the honor system here, fellas.
Yeah, I'm not an honor person. I don't know. 5 pounds.
Lurch?
Sometimes 4 ounces.
8 pounds.
It's a big bitch.
Lurch. 2 presidents died on July 4th, 1826. Name either of them.
James Garfield?
Incorrect. Dom.
Repeat the question.
2 presidents died on July 4th, 1826. Name either of them.
George Washington.
Incorrect. So you guys couldn't answer that, so we'll actually skip. Because it was 2 answers, so it was 2 questions. Thomas Jefferson, John Adams. Dom, how many times per year does the sun rise and set at the North Pole?
How many times a year?
How many times per year does the sun rise and set at the North Pole?
7 and change.
Incorrect. Lurch.
Have a seat, guys. We're live right now on the show, but we'll be starting Lurch down in a little bit. Those 4 seats.
Correct. The answer is 1. Lurch, what have you just broken if you reach Mach 1?
Speed of sound.
Speed of light.
Give it to Lurch. It's actually the sound barrier.
Yeah.
That was close.
Dom, the busiest border crossing in the world is shared between 2 countries. Name either of them.
Repeat it one more time.
The busiest border crossing in the world is shared by 2 countries. Name either of them.
Mexico.
Correct. The other one's the United States. I used to drive that damn border crossing every fucking morning.
That's why it's freaking the heaviest traffic, man. You had to get your damn tacos.
Lurch, what country is also its own continent?
Australia?
Correct.
Yeah.
Dom, what is the medical and scientific term for pregnancy?
No idea.
Lurch?
My bad.
Gestation.
Oh.
Lurch, who holds the Ironman record in Major League Baseball, which is the most consecutive games played?
Cal Ripken Jr.
Correct.
Woo.
My dad has a thing in the basement that says that.
Dom, who drafted Eli Manning?
Eli Manning. Ah, shit. I'm gonna go with Giants.
Incorrect. Lurch.
I know it's the other team.
Cowboys?
San Diego Chargers. That's why it's my blood to hate Eli Manning. Lurch, what is Superman's Kryptonian name?
Fuck. I don't know, I forgot.
I don't know.
Dom? No? Kal-El. Dom, what 2 bills in American currency do not feature pictures of U.S. presidents?
$100 bill.
That's 1. Lurch, you got the other?
Let's see. I think it's the 50?
Incorrect. Dom?
$1,000 bill.
Nope, it's the 20. Alexander Hamilton.
Ah, I thought Hamilton was a president.
Alexander Hamilton only was a vice president.
No.
So we'll go back to Dom. How many Americans won gold medals at the 1980 Summer Olympics?
None.
Correct.
Wow, I freaking pulled that one out of my ass.
Lurch, who was the first U.S. president since Abraham Lincoln who was elected in a year that ended in 0 and didn't die in office?
George Sr.?
Incorrect. Dom?
Repeat it one more time.
Who was the first U.S. president since Abraham Lincoln who was elected in a year that ended in a 0 and didn't die in office?
Oh, George Jr.
Incorrect.
No?
Ronald Reagan, although he was shot twice.
Ah, no shit.
Yeah.
Lurch. Actually, no, this goes to Dom. This is a final question. Needless to say, you can't win. But in 1998, Time allowed people to vote online for their Person of the Year. Who won the vote, but was removed from the results?
You.
No. Mick Foley is correct.
Yeah.
I remember that from freaking.
You would remember a hairy bastard.
Hey, that was funny.
All right, Lurch wins 6-3.
Well, wait, time out.
Yes, you beat.
I actually won something on DIU TV.
Yeah.
This is what you win.
That's what you get for a prize.
Oh, right in the eye. Shouldn't have ducked.
All right, it's 7:47. Lurch and Dom is coming up in about 13 minutes. I'm done.
Nice.
So here come the plugs. We'll see you in 2 weeks.
Actually,
Bye.
we'll see you in 15 minutes.
Actually, we'll see you in 15 minutes, but I'll be back on within the next 2 weeks. So we're going to take you out with our usual ending theme, which is No Oasis by Gargantua Soul. That's who I am, in case you forgot. And bye.
I'm not free.